Alright guys, so what I've done, I've changed the beaker, so I need something bigger. There's a lot of things going in. I put slightly 2 drops of, 1 drop of blue and 1 drop of green. Alright guys, so what I've done, I've basically added the DPG, and that goes up to 600 ml, as you can see. So the next thing I'm going to do is the Ethyl Vanillin, and it's roughly 20 gram. It's 1 kg, 1 liter quantity I'm looking at. So roughly 15 to 20 gram is more than enough, but I go less in that, yeah. So the first thing I started with is Ethyl Vanillin. Along with it, because it's a sweeter, so I need to use another powder, which I'll show you later. I'm sorry, this is ethyl maltol, not ethyl vanillin. So it's the same quantity going in. Ethyl vanillin will give spicy kind of smell to it, but very mild, not too much. Okay, now we have the ethyl vanillin. The first one we put is ethyl maltol, which is sugary and it makes it sweeter. So for ethyl vanillin is it's powdery and it's fine powder. It makes well, you know, it doesn't take much longer. But ethyl maltol is a sugary kind of granules, you know, so it takes a bit of time. Okay, the last thing I'm going to do in terms of powders, I'm going to use a very small quantity of coumarin. Coumarin has a smell of almonds, bitter almonds, so not too much, but just a hint. So I'm using very cautiously, so I don't want to ruin that, you know, because it's very important that I get it right, because a lot of expensive materials will go in there. Okay, so we have added 3 powders. First one is ethyl maltol, roughly 20 gram, and then ethyl vanillin. Sorry, ethyl maltol is 15 gram, and then ethyl vanillin 20 gram. Coumarin 1 gram to 5 gram max, but within 1 gram is safe because it will become very bittery otherwise. The maltol needs to create the sweet effect. Vanillin, on the other hand, will combine a smell of warm, spicy So let these mix together, and then we go to the next step. Okay, so next thing I'm gonna make, I'll just smell the perfume, the oil that we have already. Well, it's nothing like Baccarat 540, it's just in the initial stages. It's just a mere skeleton of DPG, coumarin, ethyl vanillin, ethyl maltol, and I put cedral acetate in it, so everything is very mild. Everything is, you can't really smell anything in it, and there's no hedion. So basically now I have to do something ambery. So what I need to do, I have a stage up to 800. So up to 800, I need to make a very nice, gentle, pleasant, but rich ambergris kind of effect. So up to 800 I will go, and I'll see, you know, what it's like, because at the moment I'm not smelling any jasmine because I haven't put anything in it, you know, so there's no hedion effect. You can't really smell anything if you're following the same thing I'm doing. So to make an ambergris, best thing is to get an ambergris. My ambergris, you can get a crystal form, That's the best way to do it, and use DPG to dilute it. So the mixture of 10% dilution in DPG, you need roughly 200 ml, and that's the max. Don't go, just go under 200, maybe 180, 170. So I'm using my own accord of ambergris or amber effect. So I'm looking at roughly 100 ml. So we'll sort this thing out and then come back. Okay, to create the amber effect, I have something that we call Splendia. So I've used roughly 7 ml. Splendia is very ambery but floral ambery. And then the next one is Ambrosia. This one also is very ambery. So Splendia and Ambrosia 50%. There is another one perfume is called, normally comes in Attar form. It's called Gold Dust. There is a lot of amber in it, and for the time being I'm reaching 75 ml. About 20 gram of general acetate. The one I have is mixed with oud. So it's 80% general acetate smell to it. It's rose basically, and 20% is oud. Just to make sure I get the lemony effect of it, I just use a bit of bergamot. So I'm taking all the mixtures together of all the oils, like you can see, and then I'm going to 150 ml because I'm going to make amber along with other oil base, you know. So because other stuff that we have apart from the oils, they are diluted. Some of them are in ethanol. So I'm mixing all the oils first, and then right at the end I will use something different, which is non-oil based. Basically they are dilution of alcohol or ethanol. Right guys, in this one I'm going to use just few drops, not too much of agarwood. Just a pinch, 5 or 6 drop of sandalwood. So I'm adding agarwood now before I run out in that container. Now I'm using agarwood, just 10 to 15 drops. Again, not too much. If you put these too much and then you use the jasmine is gonna take over everything because it's very, very strong. So you'll be wasting a lot of agarwood and sandalwood if you put too much jasmine in it. So, but then obviously if you increase the agarwood or sandalwood, they're also very, very strong. So jasmine will not be there the way it should be. Because in this perfume is a lot of hedion as a main character. Okay, so we've reached roughly 120, and now I'm gonna put ethylene bracelet. Ethylene bracelet has a very beautiful smell to it. I'm using very little, roughly you can say 20 ml. Okay, I need roughly 2 to 3 ml or maximum 5 ml of styrol acetate. This one is very strong, and I don't know whether it smells like cannabis or I might be wrong. It's not cannabis, it's a smell of very grassy kind of thing. It's supposed to be creating an effect of saffron, but this one has a very strange smell to it. Okay, so now I'm going towards a dodgy stuff, the dangerous stuff. Well, when I say dangerous, it's aldehydes. This is the last thing, and this one is Cinnamic aldehyde of cinnamon. Very strong. If you're not careful with it, it's gonna do a lot of damage, and everything will be wasted because it all smells like cinnamon. I like the smell of cinnamon, but not too strong. Okay. So I just use 20 drops, 10 to 20 drops, nothing more. Okay, the next one is another Aldehyde C18. Again, just few drops, about 5 to 6 drops. Okay, the next one is Aldehyde C14. It's supposed to be smell of strawberry, but very careful. I use about 20 drops in it. I think it's too much, but I risk it. Okay. Next one is Dehydra Mercenal. This can also be very nice, but if you don't play safe with it, this can do a lot of damage to the perfume. I use 20 drops in it. Okay. Now the next one is kind of Aldehyde C16, and I'm using 20 drops because it's been diluted to 50%. I always dilute my aldehyde because if I put too much, the whole mixture can be wasted very easily. So it's becoming ambery. Okay, the next one is eugenol. Again, it's diluted, so not very dangerous. I use about 20 drops in it. The next one is benzyl benzoate, and it's again 20% dilution. So I'm using roughly 40 drops there. Next one is benzyl acetate. Very careful with it, and it's even 10% dilution, and I'm using about 10 to 15 drops. The last one is cyclic acids. It smells like balloons. So sorry if I'm not pronouncing it right. It's CYCLACET. So for your information. Okay. So I think everything gone in there, and the quantity went up to 250 as I expected. So yep, you're on target roughly. Right, so we still have a lot of room, and this means that I'll see what the smell is coming in until I put the jasmine, Egyptian jasmine, and see what it comes. That's the final stage. But before we go, I'm gonna use okay, there's another very nice natural rose, so I'm gonna just use this one to give an extra sweetness of rose. So I just used roughly 5 ml. I did put rose general acetate, but that was mixed with the oud, the woody effect to it. But this one has a pure rose. Okay. Alright guys, last but not least, this is our jasmine. That's Egyptian jasmine. So I'm looking at very gradual increase. So I need to control this by putting in little by little, not too much. Because if I put too much, I can't control after that. I don't have much room. Yes, it's there. Okay, one thing I'm missing is Hedion, obviously, because you see it's a bit of milky. So Hedion is a big solvent, is a very good fix. So one thing guys I'm missing, as you can see, it's the Hedion. I didn't use even a single drop of Hedion. Why I'm saying that? It's because it's a bit foggy. So Hedion is a very nice mixture of it's not just a smell or its other properties or its qualities. It's a very good fixative as well. So basically this is what I'm missing at the moment. So what I've done, basically I've used a bit of roughly 5 ml of Egyptian jasmine, and I'm mixing it. I'm using just 10 to 20 ml just to see what it smells like. If I need more strength of jasmine, I can use it. But one problem stays there, and it's the fixative. The the oil that I prefer, the oil that I like, it should be transparent, not foggy. To me, this is my standard, that I just want to make sure everything is mixed well together. Surely it's something that hasn't mixed yet. So I'm missing the Hedion, and maybe I might use Hedion later on, but not at this stage. Let's see what happens. So basically what happened, it's the problem with the mixture. It's very foggy, but obviously if I use Hedion, I should have this crystal kind of thing. I use a little bit of Hedion in a mixture, and then just to see, you know, like if I mix this one with a Hedion, what's going to happen? Is it going to give me something transparent or not? So yeah, it's becoming transparent a bit. Obviously we need more Hedion, and then we can see whether it's going to work or not. Okay, so you can see I've used a bit of Hedion in a separate mixture, and it has made into crystal clear. I'm using a bit of more mixture, see what kind of strength it has. See, it's mixing. It's because the Hedion is very good solvent. So I've used very little Hedion. Yeah, I can say it's a cheating, but what can you do? I can't ruin all of it, you know. It's without Hedion you can't make it, because you need a mixture, a solvent that will make it into transparent. Quite lucky I didn't put too much jasmine in it, so okay, so let the mixture mix, and it maybe needs more Hedion than I anticipated. We have crossed the limit of 1000 ml. So this can have a lot of problem in my views, because the concentration has imbalance, and this is how you can go in difficulties if you change the recipes or the formula. But you won't learn unless you do a mistake. Although this is a mistake, but it's a good mistake, because it smells, I haven't checked it yet, you know, so I'll see the performance of it, see how it's smelling. At this time I can't really smell, you know, because there's a lot of other things are not mixed well together, so you can't really tell, you know, what kind of smell is actually going to be and how long it's going to last and all these kind of things. So I'm going to try and wait. See you soon. Alright guys, so basically what happened, we couldn't make this perfume Baccarat 540 without Hedion, and that's the end result of it. But what I've done, I've used the same quantities again to balance it out, and now I've used you know, roughly 150-120 ml of Hedion. So I have to balance a lot of calculations just to get it right. So right at the end, when I was getting to the bottleneck, I got this transparency there, but the only problem that I can see are these crystals, and these are from the sidral acetate, and this is the reason for that thing. But yes, the smell wise, it's not too strong as Baccarat 540, and it's nothing like that, to be honest. So it has its own smell. It's a very pleasant, and it has a kind of opening. So let's see what happened after. Okay, so it's all mixed up, and I don't see any crystals of cedral acetate. So what's the performance of this perfume? Surely it's not like nothing like Baccarat 540, and I'm trying to be very transparent. It's not that I will tell you something which is not. So basically, what we're doing now is adding a bit of tones to it. It is quite aquatic. It's aqua family. Yes, I can smell amber in it, but it's in the background the way I want it, and I can smell the jasmine, and yes, it performs in that way, but not like it has its own personality, it has its own character. So it's not like Baccarat 540 at all. There can be so many reasons, you know. One of the reasons is basically the imbalance of the whole recipe, by not using Hedion and then using a bit of Hedion and then using jasmine in a high quantity, and you know, there's so many factors involved, so you can change. It needs to be perfect to a percentage of whatever you know, synthetics are used. So synthetics also are not bad. For example, Hedion smells like jasmine, but it's a synthetic molecule that is made in a lab. So you can't beat that. That's my point. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to give some character. I'm going to make a total different perfume oil and see where it gets us. So the one I'm using now, it's just very small quantities of LME, and you can see that. So these are the ones, like I call them the tones, and I create some kind of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 drops, and it gives a character, but it goes away very fast. So it's kind of a top knot. A few drops of balsam pure. I would rather use labdanum in this case, because labdanum is safe to use because there's a lot of amber in it, and so geranium. Well, what geranium does, it has a lot of smell of rose. I mean, if you do some tweaks to it, so you can have a very close rose effect in perfumery. I've used the natural rose oil in it, but I'm using a bit of geranium as well, just few drops. So it's 2 or 3 drops of geranium. These are natural oils. I just use them for personal reason. You don't need to use it, but by doing so, the selection I've chosen, it gives a character to the whole perfume. So I'm looking for something balsamic, and I found so it's birch tar. So be careful with it, and you can call it a brother of labdanum. So they don't mix; they take ages to mix. But I'm gonna take this risk, and because I'm going to use this as the oil Attar. If you use these oils for making Attars are basically luxury perfume oils, but they are not perfume. They are purely oil, and they place on body as oils. You know, they don't put it as a spray. They are, obviously, if you do some research, you'll find out in the Middle East very common, in India and Pakistan. So you can see the birch is mixing. Okay, so So I'm going to use some camphor white with just few drops. This one has a smell of like very menthol kind of thing, but it's not menthol obviously. So I just few drops I've used. Be careful when you use these kind of things, they can ruin everything else, you know. So you need to know your limits. So it's more than 1000 ml, so I'm safe to use in drops. What it does, it gives a bit of a tone in the background. Alright guys, so the last thing I put in was a bit of amber in it to give that last bit of makeover. And I used the birch. It's balsam, and you can see the color has changed into dark. Okay, so the birch has done a trick. So it's khaki green, and it's kind of ambery looking, and the smell has changed to something really nice. Before, what I was trying to do, I don't want, if I make some oils or fragrance, I don't want it